Hey everybody, Adam here with Hometown Acres. Welcome back to the pond build. Today is the day that we are going to get a nice paycheck here selling this topsoil. Now I mentioned in the last video that if I could go back and do this all over again, I probably wouldn't have sold this topsoil. A lot of people had mentioned you might not want to sell that until your project is done, so you know how much dirt you still need and how much will be extra available to sell. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of selling it before we were done because at that time I was kind of overwhelmed with how much topsoil we had, and I was trying to figure out what am I going to do with all this because it's going to be in our way for building the dam. Well, as it turns out, it's actually not in our way. It's right where we'd be able to use it to backfill the backside of the dam. However, like I said, I already had made that deal, and just because I realized I made a mistake, I wasn't going to back out of an agreement because I'm a man of my word. So the guys are here today to take some of this topsoil off of our hands. And at the same time, it's not the end of the world because it is going to help us recover quite a bit of our cost involved in building this pond. We're getting about $10,000 for this topsoil. Anyway, before they start working here, let me take you down and show you the pile. So here's one last look at the back side of this pile of topsoil. The guy who's buying it is estimating that this is about 1,500 yards of topsoil. So if we figure that out, $10,000 divided by 1,500 yards, it works out to about $6.67 a yard that he's paying me for. And the other calculation I wanted to figure out is just how many triaxle loads of topsoil this is. So if he can get on average 15 yards per triaxle load, this should be about 100 triaxle loads. So what I'm going to do is I'll set up a time lapse on here and see how close we actually get to that, whether we're over or under. Technically, if we go over that, I'm selling more material than what I'm getting paid for. And if we're under 100 triaxles, I'm actually making more than the amount of material I have available for sale. So we'll see who's making out here by the end of the day. truck. Really scraping down to the subsoil there. All right guys, as you can see, we've got all of that topsoil out of there, and spoiler alert for our next video, we were still able to scrounge up enough material from over here to back dress the back side of the dam and get the required slope we were looking for so we can mow it. But if you enjoy watching rollers and excavators and bulldozers run, make sure to tune in for our next video where we show all the footage of back dressing the back side of this dam. Now, it took them 2 full days to get that pile of topsoil out of there, and as I said at the beginning of this video, I was curious who was going to be getting the better end of that deal based on the assumptions we had that that pile was 1,500 yards of topsoil and each truck could carry 15 yards of topsoil. So in theory, it would have been an even Steven deal if there was exactly 100 truckloads that came out of there. So I went back to my time-lapse footage and counted exactly how many trucks came out of here. Drum roll please. There was 102 triaxles that came out of here. Now, I can't even get mad about the extra 2 triaxle loads of topsoil that he got. If he can eyeball a pile of dirt that big within plus or minus 2%, I'm just completely blown away by that. So now let's talk about how the sale of that topsoil for $10,000 compares in relation to the cost of installing a pond like this. Now, you have to keep in mind we live in a very rural area, so it may be more or less expensive than your area to get work like this done. But up to this point, we have about $13,000 invested in this pond. That's fuel, that's operators, that's equipment rentals, that's piping, all of that stuff right there. And we still have a lot more costs that we have to go. We still need at least $2,000 in grass seed to reseed this entire area. So let's say conservatively, we have another $7,000 to go. Our total cost in this would be about $20,000. So the sale of that topsoil there paid for half of our pond. So for the sake of comparison, 2 years ago, my sister installed a swimming pool down in the city of Pittsburgh. That pool cost $65,000. Now, are there pros to a swimming pool over a pond? Yeah, they're a lot cleaner to swim in. You can control the temperature. However, she can only use that pool from the months of May through September. We'll be able to use this pond year-round between swimming and fishing in the summertime, ice skating on the pond, and sled riding on the backside of the dam in the wintertime. I just think we'll be able to get a lot more use out of this pond than we would a swimming pool. I'm a little biased towards ponds if you can't tell, but I digress. Anyway, I think that covers the sale of the topsoil and our total cost involved in the pond so far. If you guys enjoyed this video, give us a big thumbs up, click that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.